How do you put together a raised bed that is durable, easy on the eyes, simple to put together, gentle on the wallet, and most importantly, grows a beautiful vegetable garden? Well, today, let me show you exactly how we do it with our favorite plan. Actually, the two of us are gonna be doing it together because this guy seems to think that I'm building him an actual dog bed. Don't tell him the truth. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just double check the measurements of my space. Trust me, you don't wanna go too big and only realize after you put the raised bed together. Ask me how I know sometime. Yeah, so confirmed. I want about 3 feet wide by about 4 feet deep. That should fit into this space perfectly. Our main material for the day is gonna be this 11/16 inch by 11.5 by 8 foot rough cut redwood lumber. This stuff is perfect for building raised beds for a few different reasons. One, it's exactly the right height. 11.5 inches is exactly what we need for the vast majority of backyard vegetable gardens. And because it's just one 11.5 inch board, it's a little bit easier to put together rather than stacking smaller boards together. Fewer cuts, fewer joints. Let's see, the redwood is also really durable. It's gonna stand up to that organic decomposition over time a little bit better than most other types of wood. And because it's a redwood, not treated lumber, I'm a little bit more comfortable using this to grow food in to feed my family. Finally, because it is a rough cut green wood, meaning it's not super well dried, and because it is on the thinner side, it is relatively affordable. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and mark out where I need to cut up these boards. As I mentioned, one of the lengths is gonna be 4 feet, which is convenient because I can just cut this guy right in half. So we'll go ahead and mark it out right at 4 feet here. Now you do wanna be pretty careful with the measurements because it's a bit of a pain to put these together when your boards aren't an equal length. I'm just gonna be using a simple handsaw today to cut these boards, but I do wanna say that only use the tools that you are comfortable with. This is not a woodworking video. I'm not qualified to show you how to properly use a saw, but if you're uncomfortable cutting these boards yourself, don't worry about it at all. Just get your dimensions ready ahead of time, and then when you're going over to Home Depot or the lumber yard or wherever it is, just let them know what you need, and they're very likely going to be extremely happy to help you do it. And here's a 2x4 of redwood lumber. I'm gonna be cutting this up to make the corner post of my raised bed today. I'm gonna be cutting them into 11-inch pieces, 11-inch sections. And the reason that I'm doing that rather than the full 11.5 inches to match the height of my raised bed is I think it looks just a little bit nicer if the corner posts aren't peeking up above the soil line. So I just make them a little bit shorter. Let's get to it. Corner posts are cut, all the lumber ready to go. We're gonna start screwing it all together here in a moment, which means this would be a wonderful time to hit the like button if you are enjoying this video, if you think it's gonna help you build your own raised bed. Thank you very, very, very much for helping us out with that. Really, really, truly appreciate it. Let's get back to those raised beds. First thing I'm gonna do is just lay out the 2 shorter boards on top of 2 corner posts each, and then we'll go ahead and screw them into place. Just gonna take a second here to try and line up these corner posts nicely with the lumber on top. In reality, it doesn't matter that much, it just looks a little bit nicer. You're not actually gonna lose any soil, even if the tolerances aren't perfect. Soil tends to kind of congeal together. It's worth sort of taking a look at both sides of your lumber and making sure that you're choosing the one that you think looks nicer for the outside. I think I like this one a little bit better. Next up, it is time to join these boards together. I'm gonna use 3 2-inch exterior wood screws. These are just basic decking screws. And we're gonna place them kind of just at regular intervals right here. Okay, then we're just gonna repeat that right there for obviously the other side of that board and then both sides of our other board. And look, an underrated upside to having giant garden beds, your giant dog can pretend that they belong to him. Alrighty, with our end board screwed into the corner post, I'm gonna go ahead and just stand them up and start screwing in the longer pieces. I guess this old dude decided our beds aren't good enough for him after all. And with that, we can call it a day if you want. There's definitely no way the soil is going to be breaking out of this thing. It's just not going to be able to apply enough pressure on either direction. But for my peace of mind and to show you how, in case you're interested in doing it on a larger bed, I'm gonna go ahead and add a cross beam or cross post. What I mean by that is we're gonna take that 2x4 that we use to create these corner posts, and we're gonna screw it in at the bottom, right in the middle of the two longer sides. And that's just gonna add a little additional stability to make sure that these guys don't bow out. Just gonna make sure I've got a nice, precise internal measurement of the distance inside the bed. Now we're gonna go ahead and cut up that cross post. Okay, got this cross post cut to length, fits perfectly, but I wanna make sure that I am putting it in the dead center of the board. I'm gonna go ahead, just mark that out. Okay, there's not a lot to it when it comes to positioning and screwing in the cross post. I'm just gonna be using 2 of those same decking screws to secure it in place. Look who just can't make up his mind. Yeah, that's sturdy. That's not going anywhere. It's in real good shape, which means it's time to prep the area we're actually gonna put the raised bed. Just 2 things I wanna do here. I wanna make sure that I'm removing all of the leaves and that I'm flattening the ground within reason. I don't worry about it being perfectly level, but I don't want it to be too wonky either. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hoe out the leaves and then rake it flat. Before you go off and start building your own bed, let me show you a couple ways that you can do things slightly differently if you maybe don't have redwood available to you, or maybe you're looking to save a few dollars. All right, first off, this is the other way that I like to put together these redwood raised beds, and that is with these thinner fence pickets. Now, these are about 5.5 inches tall, so you do have to use 2 of them. Really, the only downside is that it's a little bit more complicated to put them together because you have twice as many pieces, but they are significantly cheaper, about 2/3 as much. Or if you want to save even more money, you can try a different material, like these ones right here. This is cedar, and cedar is another terrific option. It's really basically just as good as redwood, and you can find the boards in the same sizes, and those redwood fence pickets are super affordable for what you're getting. Now, the only reason that I don't normally go with cedar is I generally kind of regret using it instead of redwood, simply because I don't think it looks as nice. It doesn't look as nice when it's brand new, and it doesn't age as well. It still looks good, don't get me wrong, and a lot of folks really like cedar. I just prefer redwood. One final way you can save some money is to not line the raised bed. Don't put anything in the bottom, don't put anything along the sides, unless you know you deal with horrific perennial weeds or really aggressive burrowing pests, things like voles or moles or gophers or ground squirrels, stuff that destroys your garden. Your garden's actually gonna grow better without anything preventing the weeds from reaching the ground beneath the native soil beneath, and it's a nice way to save a few dollars on the overall build. When you go to the store to pick out your redwood lumber, try and find a piece that's got a lot of red in it. And I realize that sounds kind of funny. It's a redwood, right? Of course it's got a lot of red in it, but actually not all redwood lumber really does. This high red content, and this piece is, I think, a beautiful example of it, indicates that there's a lot of heartwood in the board rather than sapwood. Sapwood is that lighter colored, almost a white wood, and that sapwood isn't going to have the properties that we're paying for in redwood. It doesn't contain as many of the extractives in the redwood lumber that help sort of slow down or prevent that organic decomposition. So try and find that really nice red looking wood there at the store. Let me know if you would be interested in the kind of more general tips and mistakes around using raised beds. It's kind of a video I've been thinking about for a little while. Would that be something you would enjoy watching? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, happy gardening, y'all, and I will see you on the next one.
And I won't waste this.